The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
With so many people living longer, the fear of outliving your money becomes a reality for many of us. Will I be a financial burden? Will I outlive my money? How will I be remembered? My name is Neil Himmelstein, president of Main Street Planning Group. Please contact me by visiting mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. I will introduce you to strategies that will guarantee you will not outlive your money, that can guarantee you will not be a burden on your loved ones. Through a collaborative approach, we will uncover solutions that offer tax-efficient strategies, lifetime income, and legacy planning, choice, organization, direction, and education. That is the code we stand behind. Contact mainstreetplanninggroup.com, that's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. And listen to me every Friday at 3 p.m. as I host the Main Street Code for Financial Success, right here on 103.9 LI News Radio. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein. I'm here every Friday at 3 o'clock. If you miss an episode, you can catch me on Spotify or Apple, or you can always email me or check out my website at themainstreetcode.com. We are independent wholesalers and of life insurance, annuities, disability, long-term care, and life settlements, and we help hundreds of advisors across the United States with questions regarding insurance and planning, and we help you put together your plan. We are completely not work for any career company. We represent 30 different insurance companies, and we'll give you a unbiased opinion. And also, we are very good at helping you put a financial team together if you don't have one. I think your accountant, your attorney, your investment guy, and your insurance specialist all should work together on your plans. And that's what we do. And we do lots of different great things. And today we're very fortunate to have with us as a guest is Jamie Forbes. Say hello.
Hi. And
Jamie, besides being a neighbor and a friend, is the co-owner and founder of Sunstorm Fine Arts since 1975. And she's a publisher of Fine Art Magazine, which is a physical magazine and digital. I'm going to ask you about that. Mm-hmm. Museum director and gallery owner. And what we want to focus on today is we want to talk about you've heard of the art of business. I like to talk about the business of art because it's such a huge business, right?
It is
Amy?
a business. It's definitely a business.
So, Jamie, tell me about your magazine and tell me about what you're doing and tell me about all the good stuff.
Well, we're celebrating our 50th anniversary, so we're pulling together our past clients, and it's hard to publish physically any longer due to the way in which physical publishing has changed. We're mostly online, but this will be a physical publication. We do a good many books now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
We just published a book called The Queen of Art. We have a representative in London, and we have representatives, and it's going to be distributed.
So you said a very interesting thing. Although I've seen your magazine, and of course have your magazine, it's beautiful. You pivoted, and because your world of publishing has changed.
Oh, very much so.
Talk a little bit more about that because.
Well, I grew up on Long Island. We built a very local community. We brought ourselves into the national community, basically with fine art publishers. With the advent of digital publishing, the entire system changed, and then there were, disruptions along the way to every business in America. 9/11, which we just celebrated, and then there was the financial collapse, and there are other things along the way. Now, basically, with the advent of the internet, a good deal of information is distributed through the internet, but with art and fine art, you actually have to physically see it.
Yes.
To really, it's almost tactile. If it's sculpture, it's definitely tactile, but if it's fine art, you can't envision what it's going to look like until you see it in a setting, and then you have to sometimes bring it into your house to really see if it fits.
Right.
So we ran galleries, I ran museums, I've run community organizations, all in hopes of getting fine art out there to the community to enrich community life. Now, this is not new.
Right.
And this is going to segue into your area, because since the advent of time, there have been collectibles. There have been people painting on cave walls.
Right.
These cave walls are revered. They're sacred spaces or whatever. And then you get into the civilizations, you get into the Assyrians, the Sumerians, and you get into the Egyptians, where art was prized. Art cost money, and art, I'm not saying it was collected in the same way, but it had a great value.
Right. Yeah, and that value is big, and it's part of an asset class that many financial advisors have no idea about.
Correct.
Or can plan for yet, especially well, there's two types of people that we would say are engaged in this area. One is, okay, well, they're wealthy and they want a prized collection.
Correct.
Either they like it for its beauty, or they want to collect and resell it or or pass it on to the next generation.
Correct.
So there's really two types of collectors. So, right, or
There's
maybe more.
There's
Yeah.
actually, I've dealt with people who collected, rolled things up in tubes. They were all in Europe, and if they had to make hasty retreats, they brought their wealth with them.
Right. Interesting.
That was interesting, and that I started to see in the 90s, late 80s.
And then there's the people who inherit things
Yes.
that have been in their family for a long time.
Correct.
And they may or may not know the value of that artwork.
Correct.
And I think that's another type of, I mean, I don't like to put people in categories, but it applies to everyone. I'm trying to say that you may be a collector without being a collector. You may have inherited like paintings from your family or sculptures that are worth a great deal of money.
Right.
And not think of it as
Well,
an asset.
When the Wyeths and the Warhols and some of the other collectible pieces were done, pretty much everyday dentists, household owners,
Right.
they would go to these shows, they would buy something. Some of these pieces are now quite expensive.
Right.
They're quite valuable. And I don't think anybody sits around thinking my Warhol went up in price.
Right.
Nor do they know what edition they have or when the edition was pulled and what the value actually is. And that's a whole series of things. It's not just Andy Warhol's.
Right.
Okay. And as you go through, that's the nature. People picked up all sorts of art and they didn't know the value of it.
Right. Just people who love art. And
They go on a trip, they buy a little something.
yes, of course. And therein can be, from an estate planning standpoint, a big problem.
Oh, it's very important that they get their materials, their artworks, their collections, their antiques valued, and that's your field.
Yes. Well, it's very important. Well, it's my field in the sense that when someone passes or whatever, the IRS comes in and they value what you have. Or even if they don't, let's say you have multiple children. And one child
Correct.
really likes this one picture. And you know what? I want to gift it to that child. And while everything's moving along, and maybe the other child liked it also, or maybe they didn't, but all of a sudden the other child says, well, that's worth $100,000 and you didn't give me anything.
Where's mine?
And then what happens?
Yeah.
There's lawsuits that happen and siblings fight, and because it's not appropriated to the other person, they feel slighted.
Correct.
And this goes on every single day. I mean, this goes on with ashtrays, for God's sakes. I mean, God forbid it's worth something crazy valuable. So getting it appraised is very important. And
It's very important.
Knowing the value of what you have.
Very
and
important.
also, if you have valuable things and you want to pass it on to your children, you may need to buy some sort of insurance policy, a life insurance policy, to equally give that to your other child so that there is not
interesting.
discourse down the road.
Yeah, that's a very good idea.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, you have to do that.
Right. And a lot of people don't. But that's part of the planning process is when you look at assets and, you know, I know millions of estate attorneys because I work with them on a daily basis. And they may ask your assets, but they may not ask about your artwork or some of your prized possessions, or you may not tell them. And I find that all the time. They don't tell them, but they may not even know. They have a painting on the wall. They had it. Their aunt gave it to them. It's been sitting there. we both watch Antique Roadshow from time to time, and you see, you go, oh my God, my aunt left me this, and I don't know what the heck it is, and all of a sudden, it's worth $20,000, it's worth $100,000. Oh my God, what do I do? Well, you better insure it. But not only that, think about the future of the value, not from just a tax standpoint, but from a legacy standpoint to your kids. It's very important that you not only get the value, that you account for it and figure out in your plans. And that's what we do. Anyhow, we're running out of time. Jamie, if someone wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way they can reach out to you?
Oh, they can contact me at jamie.forbes@mac.com, or they can contact me at 631-909-1192. That's my work phone.
Okay.
And if I don't pick up and I don't recognize the number, if you leave a message, I'll call right back.
Excellent.
But the thing is to identify what you have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to talk a little more about that after the break. And you're listening to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein. Best way to get a hold of me is 631-647-4694, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein. We're here today with Jamie Forbes. Jamie Forbes is the co-owner and founder of Sunstorm Fine Arts. She is a digital magazine, a regular magazine. And Jamie, before the break, was talking about having your fine art looked at and appraised. We talked about that and how to pass it on. But Jamie also does some other things. She has some exhibitions coming up, and tell us about that.
I'm a fine art photographer, and I have an exhibition currently at the Remsenburg Gallery on Long Island. And
Where's that gallery?
That's on 103 South Country Road in Remsenburg, across from the post office.
Of course.
And that's the Remsenburg Art Academy. That show it's interesting, because Baidawi is coming in tomorrow. And they have a truck and whatnot. So there are 3 artists there. Our show is called Out of the Box. My works are all backyard scenes at sunset. They're called Galactic Dust Sunsets. And they were all done on the Senex Creek as I look out my backyard to register various atmospheric and environmental conditions.
Excellent. Super. And I've been to your exhibits, and they're fantastic.
Oh, thanks, Neil.
I've also accompanied Jamie to the Hamptons Art Show.
That was fun.
And some other shows
good.
where she had some artists that she represented a couple of times.
Oh, yeah. I've taken other artists. I've always taken other artists out and represented them. We've taken the museum, the magazine out to the various shows. We're about to rev up and do that again.
Okay. I know you were representing the Woodstock.
I own the Woodstock Arts Collection. I own that collection.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, it's basically 100 pieces of canvas that were shown for artists and peace in the environment in 1999 at Woodstock 99. And that was the debacle, Woodstock. But the artwork is stellar. And we have Wavy Gravy, we have Tico Torres, we have some reputable artists in there. And it's just now I'm getting ready to sell that collection.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah, I am.
All right. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. Well, I had to wait for the right connections, and I have an auction gallerist upstate I'm going to work with, and I have a gallery friend of mine out in San Diego. We'll have the opportunity to show.
If somebody has artwork that they want to praise or they want to sell, where would you recommend they go, or who would they call?
Well, you work with a woman who has an appraisal license. Mm-hmm. I've been appraising art for so long. I identify the provenance. I identify, particularly in editions, what the strike was, where they came from. And then I have a network of people I sell through or connect to have them give me images if I'm looking for images. But the works, Neil, some of the works I've dealt with are very, very pricey, and some of the works that we've dealt with over the years are you just turn them over.
Right, understood.
Yeah, just turn them over. But they're expensive pieces, Robert Indiana's, along those lines. I can do that kind of thing. I do not have an appraisal license, but there isn't an appraiser who won't follow I can give you a record, and most museums and insurance companies will take my record, but I don't have a license for that.
Right.
And there are people who do.
Right. And it's important to value your stuff, but also if you want to sell it or if you want to do something with it, it's important to know where to go, what to do.
Well, licensed appraisers very often do not sell this material.
Right. No, I understand.
I deal in the commerce end of it.
Got it.
It's like years and years and years ago, I walked into a townhouse that was caught in an estate, and they were changing the parameters of the legal document. And there were very, very important paintings on the wall, and they needed me to go in as somebody who was just looking at the walls, not as who I was, to appraise what they had and advise them. And I did change the conditions of the sale, but I have an expertise.
Right. No, I know that. It's very important. I know how knowledgeable you are and how many people you're connected to. As a matter of fact, Jamie's going to lead a panel of experts that we're having on Wednesday morning at the Art League in Deer Park. Where's that?
That's Genie Tunnel. You get off. It's on Deer Park Avenue. It's Northern State. You exit, and it's right there. It's the Art League.
Oh, yeah. We're looking forward to it. We're going to have a breakfast.
Jeannie Tengleson Building.
Oh, yes.
You know how I know that? Because I knew Jeannie.
I know that. I called there to book the event because I have an organization called the Long Island Accounting and Financial Planning Network, and we thought it was a good idea to talk about the business of art. So we're going to have Jamie highlight that. We also have somebody there that's going to be talking about art storage, which is a whole nother world.
Very important.
Whole nother world.
Right.
We also have experts in the area of insuring fine art, as well as estate planners, accountants, and attorneys, all related to the art world. Some have direct exposure, and some just have regular knowledge that they're doing other things. We want to give them that exposure, and we like to have meetings like that and get a meeting of the minds, because sometimes one side of the brain doesn't talk to the other side of the brain or the other people. So we always like to gather experts and get expert opinions, and then when you need to put a plan together, we have all the pieces of the puzzle to help you complete your plan. Life is complicated, isn't it?
Very much so. You could buy a de Kooning for $200 in 1968. It's worth millions now.
Right.
I mean, he used to go out and do sidewalk sales to pick up whatever little change he needed.
I know, it's crazy. And how about the NFTs and all that? Is that still around, or what's going on there?
They're around. Honestly, once they were explained to me and a few other... There are people who are very heavily into this, but you never own an image. You own the right to project that, if I understand it correctly, you can project a piece of art onto your wall or your TV, but you don't own anything other than the digital encoding of that image. And then I guess there's strict guidelines which people may or may not follow, which I've never really understood. You probably know as much as I do.
No, to be honest, I
didn't dabble.
Don't get involved.
No, I was asked early on to get involved, and I said, I don't think... Since the Roman times, since the Renaissance, since the 1900s or whenever, people have bought and sold collectible art, and they pass it down. Why on earth would I get involved, or would anybody get involved? And I'm not disparaging it, but something that's not real.
Well, it's very similar to crypto.
Yes, it's a cousin.
And it was an offshoot of crypto.
Yes.
And, having younger people in my family who, are more equipped to know what's going on with that kind of stuff. I'm a long-term guy. I'm a long-term planner. But at the end of the day, how's that impacted your business, all these...
Oh, I don't see, for fine art, collectible art, I don't... Like I say, I had people come to me very early on, very major players, and I didn't have a feel for it. If I don't have a feel for something, I'm not going to be successful.
Smart.
I'm in the arts. I have to know what I'm doing.
Right.
And if I have a feel I can pretty much deliver what I promise to people, which is very important.
Absolutely.
So,
And
I
a lot of
stayed
people
out
make
it.
that mistake, even in my field. You know, they're trying to be an expert in 15 different things. I picked long time ago. I know insurance. I know it better than anybody.
Oh, you do,
I
Neil.
stick in my lane.
You absolutely do.
But I learned, stick in my lane.
Right.
Don't get involved in things. If you need an accounting, if you need it, we bring them in.
Correct.
We bring the experts in to
Correct.
solve the issue. You don't be an expert in everything.
No.
That's kind of one of my overall messages.
Yeah, I'm in agreement.
Yes. Well, we are running out of time, and Jamie, thank you so much for being here today. And,
Thank you for having me, Neil.
oh, absolutely. And I look forward to you speaking next week. That's next Wednesday morning. We're having a breakfast at the Art League. There's no charge. If you're interested, give me a call, and I'll register you at 631-647-4694. It's the best way to get a hold of me. And Jamie, if they need to get a hold of you, what's the best way?
It's jamie.forbes@mac.com, and it's 631-909-1192. That is my work number.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Have a terrific weekend, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The views and opinions expressed on this